database of personal information. In March, President Trump signed an order pushing federal agencies to share vast amounts of personal data, sparking fears of a massive centralized surveillance database. And while he stayed mostly quiet on the subject publicly, his team has been quietly laying the groundwork, partnering heavily with Palantir, a data company with deep ties to government intelligence and law enforcement.
Man, what y'all just heard should already have your brain racing for real. When agencies start pulling personal data like that, the real tension ain't software, it's who gets to see everything.
Since Trump took office, Palantir has secured over $113 million in federal contracts, as well as a staggering $795 million deal with the Pentagon. They're also in talks to bring their technology into the Social Security Administration and the IRS.
Seeing deals that big doesn't feel like a small test run anymore. It feels like Palantir's tech proved itself somewhere, and now it's spreading agency to agency. Let me ask y'all something. If your company saw a tool boosting performance somewhere else, wouldn't you want in on that too? That's how adoption spreads. Results move faster than marketing ever could.
Last week, the New York Times dropped a bombshell. The Trump administration's partnership with Palantir could lead to a nationwide database of personal information, handing the president unprecedented surveillance power. This isn't just about national security, it's about control.
When you hear unprecedented, it's easy to picture limitless power, but that isn't quite accurate. In practice, presidential authority still operates within legal frameworks, judicial review and oversight structures that define what can and cannot be done.
To understand, we need to look at the origins of Palantir, a company founded in the early 2000s by right-wing billionaire and ham sandwich come-to-life, Peter Thiel. He was joined by venture capitalists and entrepreneurs, Joe Lonsdale, Stephen Cohen, and Alex Karp, who currently serves as the company's CEO.
Hey, don't let that venture capitalist part slide past you. That usually means real investors saw early potential, not just a startup built on speculation. When heavyweight money steps in that early, it signals confidence beyond hype. A venture capitalist is basically someone who invests big to help a company grow quickly. Without that kind of backing early on, expansion usually moves slower and opportunities stay limited.
His former Stanford classmate with a PhD in neoclassical social theory. And while the company initially struggled to find investors, two people stepped up with the cash: Peter himself and the CIA. So why did the CIA invest in this obscure tech startup? Because Palantir isn't just about crunching numbers, it's about making sense of chaos, turning raw data into tools of power.
You might not think much of that at first. When the government invests that early, it usually means the tech can connect to complex systems fast and make chaotic data usable. And once everyone starts relying on the same platform, it naturally becomes the standard others adapt to.
The company essentially turns swamps of data into clear visuals like maps, histograms, and link charts. In just days, its forward-deployed engineers can integrate and analyze a customer's data, tackling issues from terrorism to disaster response and human trafficking. Palantir has become a top choice for analyzing massive data sets in intelligence and law enforcement.
Don't y'all ever wonder what it was like before Palantir? Like how the government really got down handling all that data, right? Mr. Wilson, do you know? Picture this, imagine needing your information fast, but your information is trapped in a bunch of separate computers that don't talk to each other. Teams had to dig through files, switch between systems, and manually stitch things together just to see the full picture. It was slower, chunkier, and easy for important details to slip through the cracks.
They offer sleek software and on-site coders who tailor solutions to each client. And the more data that you give them, the more they can tell you. Palantir's technology has quietly played a pivotal role in shaping some of the most significant global events since its inception. In the 2000s, US Marines used their technology for forensic analysis of roadside bombs in Afghanistan. Palantir technology was even used to track and kill Osama bin Laden, although the company remains a bit tight-lipped on that one.
Take a second and think about this. Once agencies build their daily operations around a system, swapping it out isn't simple anymore. It's not just software at that point. Its training, workflows, and decisions all tie together.
Palantir does not do business with China, Russia, or any countries that are opposed to the West. Alex says, "We have a consistently pro-Western view that the West has a superior way of living and organizing itself, especially if we live up to our aspirations."
If that line about refusing certain countries didn't catch your attention, it should have. When a company publicly draws lines about who it will and won't work with, it's not just offering software anymore, it's declaring where it stands. Yeah, no cap. Once a company makes that kind of stance public, every contract starts carrying the weight beyond the product itself. At that point, it's not about what the tech does, it's about which side it reinforces.
This brings us to the heart of the matter. Palantir isn't just a contractor. It's the linchpin in a growing network of government surveillance with the potential to reshape privacy in America as we know it. Even Palantir employees are worried about what's going on, with internal letters pushing for the company to stop its work with Trump. And one strategist, named Brianna Catherine Martin, posted on LinkedIn that she was departing the company because of its expanded work with ICE.
Believe it or not, Palantir was working with government agencies long before this current administration. The company has partnered across multiple leadership cycles, which means the tool itself outlasts whoever happens to be in office. That makes this less about one person and more about how institutions keep certain systems in place.
President Trump's push to merge government power with private surveillance tech aims to create a national citizen database. Last month, Trump signed an executive order on policing, strengthening and unleashing America's law enforcement to pursue criminals and protect innocent citizens. The executive order mobilizes military and national security assets for local policing.
When you hear about national security tools moving into local policing, it might not sound dramatic at first, but it's like taking software built to track threats across entire countries and placing that system into neighborhood level enforcement. If you're a local officer hearing that, it feels like leveling up overnight. Tools that used to sit at the federal desk are suddenly in your hands, helping you connect the dots faster and act sooner. That kind of speed can mean stopping something early instead of reacting before it's too late.
It also boosts federal support for state and local law enforcement and strengthens police protections. Combine this with a possible database that knows everything about you and can live track your movements, and you have a recipe for something truly terrifying.
You and I both know there's pros and cons to everything. Real talk, if mad departments are running off the same system and something's entered wrong, that mistake doesn't just sit in one spot. It can hit multiple agencies before anybody even fixes it.
A digital prison where freedom is an illusion and every move, word, and thought is tracked, scored, and used to enforce a new hierarchy of control. And Palantir are at the center. He has become Sauron, Karp is Saruman, and Palantir is the ring. And Palantir may be the ring in this analogy, but unlike Tolkien's story, this fight is not over.
Hold on! She just compared this to Lord of the Rings. What does that even mean? Why call Palantir the ring? In Lord of the Rings, the ring gave its holder massive power, but it's also corrupted and controlled anyone connected to it. Calling Palantir the ring is a way of saying the technology itself isn't just a tool. Whoever controls it holds enormous influence. And the bigger it gets, the harder it is to ignore or escape.
Staying informed and holding tech companies accountable is one way to ensure the One Ring doesn't fall into the wrong hands.